Okay, the second resource that I use with my students that I'm going to share with you is Prezi. It's a presentation that I use when I'm introducing different pieces of equipment. The one that I brought up for you is the table saw. Seems to be an ongoing theme. The nice thing about this, some of you may notice that this is the same presentation that I used in my collaborative assignment a couple modules ago. It had to be converted to a PDF, so it lost some of the pizzazz that Prezi gives you as far as presenting to your students. Again, working through the principles or the guidelines from the UDL. Guideline 1 talks about providing options for perception. Prezi is phenomenal. Hundreds of different types of fonts. You can resize anything that you want. One of the coolest things about Prezi is I just downloaded this image and I used this image to work through all the different slides for the presentation. You can go in, you can edit the size of these fonts, you can edit the styles. The only downside as far as the perception is the fact that students do not have access to this. I share the link with them. They can go in, they can look at this presentation at any time. I can use it and set up a screencast of it and explain things to them. However, if there's some visual impairments and things like that, they can't go in and adjust fonts to make it easier for them to read. The other downside, I like all the movement. I like that it gives you something different, but I think for somebody who has stimulation issues, this might cause an issue with all the movement and things like that with Prezi, as opposed to the standard up and down movement of a PowerPoint. Could get very distracting for a student with some kind of stimulation issues, whether it be attention deficit or something like that. All the moving parts could make it harder for them to follow. The nice thing with being so easily workable to do a screencast or a collaborative type lesson is you can offer those alternatives for auditory information. Again, Prezi has tons of options where you can go in and you can add video clips and things like that. I don't have any in this presentation, but I have others where it just gives you a link and you can go to a YouTube site. It automatic will load that. You can drop that right into your presentation. So as far as guideline 1, providing for multiple means of representation, Prezi gives you a lot of power as far as that goes. Guideline 2 talks about options for language and expressions. As far as expressions, you can put just about anything into Prezi if you can create it. If you can find an image of it, you can download it. You can put symbols, expressions, and all those things. Prezi itself, as far as I am understanding, again, with the language barrier, there is no translation software. So what you can communicate, you can put in and you can share using this software, but the software itself doesn't have any kind of translation. So language barriers for ELLs could be an issue that I'm not sure how you would cover that, other than having somebody like myself. I definitely struggle when it comes to ELLs because the expression that it's like foreign language to me. I'm the definition of that. I took 2 years of French and can barely count to 5, so that's the extent of my knowledge. So language barriers are something that are very hard for me to overcome. I would have to get a lot of outside help for that, and there's not help within this software. Providing options for comprehension, again, I think Prezi does a great job as far as you can put anything in here. This was an image that I got. This is the unit that we use in my lab. So this is really great for me. You can zoom in right on the different parts. Some of these are probably my fault. I think the yellow on here is it can get a little bit blurry up here where I zoomed in so far in the image. The lettering gets a little bit hard to read against this blurred out image, but again, that's user error. Prezi gives you that ability to change that. You can change the colors, you can change the type of font and things like that. So all you'd have to do is talk to your students and be able to save from that issue. And options for comprehension. You can upload videos, you can use the screencasting and things like that. So guideline 3 is pretty well covered. You know, you're presenting a ton of information on here. The only drawback to Prezi that I see is, again, you know, there's so much movement in this that I think that could be kind of overstimulation because of the movement and the kind of you know, cross and circular build of these presentations. I think any kind of screen reading software would have a really hard time working through following this because it's not a linear type movement. So that the reader software would probably have a really hard time following these presentations if they need to be done in a certain order. This presentation, you know, as long as it's going from part to part, really doesn't matter which part you talk to or talk about first. It's going to work either way. So Prezi is a pretty good tool. Overall, I think Prezi provides for a lot of options, so that at least as far as the universal design for learning, lots of options, gives you tons of flexibility, so you can really hone it in to create a presentation for all learners. And that's what our goal is. So give it a try. Good luck. Thanks.